welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another reading vlog. I've given into the internet's influence and I have bought book of the internet this month or for the last 2 months, I don't know. But in this video we're going to be reading Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. I'm excited to be reading anything apart from A Little Life. The farther I can move away from thinking about that book, the better for me. Not really read much, I only know a little bit of the plot. So in this book we're following Natalie, who is an influencer, and she posts these picture perfect shots of her life on the internet. She has a beautiful house, she lives in the ranch, she has a very handsome cowboy husband. I think that is how they describe him. And she posts these amazing recipes online, but what people don't know is that in the background there are other people who are helping her. She has nannies, she has A-grade ovens, she has producers behind everything that's going online. And then one day she wakes up and her whole life comes tumbling down. She has the same house, she has the same people around her, but something about it feels off. What that is, I don't know. I will read, find out, tell you more about it. I've only heard good things about it, so I am going in with no expectations because I don't have a lot of context about it, which in my opinion is the best way to start a book. It's a debut novel as well, so for it to be so widely loved, I think that also says a lot. So excited about it. We're gonna be reading this for the vlog. So let's start. They have a name for the cow. That's so cute. Okay, so she has a full crew. She has a producer, she has 2 nannies who are working for her, and then she has 5 children, and she's pregnant with the 6th one, and she's 32 years old. You know, I can actually picture some of the reels that I see which kind of fit the description of what Natalie is. In those videos where this girl is very gently baking in the kitchen, wearing a very nice apron, and everything looks very countryside and it's beautiful. Okay, so I have little bit updates about where I'm at. I'm on page 45 right now, but I have more context on what's going on in the story. So we're following 2 timelines. One is the past, one is the present. We start the book by being in the past, where she wakes up, she has this perfect life, she lives in a really beautiful house, she has a producer, she has 2 nannies, her 5 kids, she's pregnant with her 6th child, and her husband, of course. Everything that she's doing for her Instagram or her YouTube page. She's a very religious woman, she's a traditional wife, and on the surface she always is smiling, trying to hold it all in, but then because we're following her point of view, so we know what's going on inside, and in her head she's really going mad. And then there's some stuff happening with the producer, her husband. We don't have a lot of context about it, but she's keeping it all in, but we know that she's mad about something. Then the next chapter is where we move on to the present, where she one day wakes up in her house and everything looks off. The blanket that she has, not her blanket, it looks like it's made out of some cheap material. When she gets out of her bed, the floor is not the same, the lights are not the same. When she goes out, she sees her kids laughing and eating and, you know, playing with each other, but then they look like her kids, but they're not her kids, is what she's thinking. She goes to the kitchen, everything looks the same how it was in the past, but then the overhead lights are not there. Her eldest daughter is behaving a little weird. Then she goes out, she sees her husband. The guy also looks eerily similar to her husband, but she thinks it's not her husband, so she's begging that guy to, you know, take her back. She thinks she's been kidnapped, so she's asking him to take some money, whatever he wants, and just leave her and let her go. That is what we have till now. I am intrigued about what's happening and how did she end up in this alternate reality. See where it goes. I don't have any idea, honestly. It's too soon for me to even try to think about what's happening. I'm at the book, we're still in the present. We're kind of getting a little bit backstory about her childhood, her family, when she moved out of her house. Don't know where this is going. As I keep on reading, I will give more thoughts. I want to see what the hype is all about. I'm excited about that. So I'll be back. Forgot to put on the mic. I'm done with Yesteryear. It took me almost a week to finish it. I think I started it on Wednesday, and today is Monday. Oh, less than a week. But yeah, it's been a while since we've sat down and talked, so let's talk. I guess last when we spoke, I said that we were following two timelines. One was the present, where she wakes up in this strange environment, and the other one was the past, where she was still an influencer living with a family in this really lavish ranch. In her past life, where she was actually an influencer, she was cosplaying as this 1800s traditional wife, which is how she was making money. She was portraying her life in a certain kind of way. And then when we go in the present, where she has woken up in a strange environment, she finds out that she is actually woken up in the 1800s, and she is expected to be a traditional wife. And then while we're following her, trying to figure out what's happening, we're also getting backstory of her childhood, how she grew up, how she got married to Caleb, how did she end up on the ranch. So I guess around the 30-40% mark, it kind of got repetitive for me when she was in this new environment in this ranch. We were following this new family and her trying to figure out what's going on. We were not really finding out anything. It was just a lot of monologue in her head. Another thing that kind of made it difficult for me to really get invested in the story is that the main character is extremely unlikable. The way that she thinks about herself, the way she thinks about her family, the way she thinks about other people around her, it's just a little difficult to read because it's so annoying. The book basically touches upon so many different topics like motherhood, postpartum depression, mental illness, being in an unhappy marriage, if children really consent to being part of their parents' social media or not. By the end of it, it kind of picked up for me. I think in the start of the video I said that I don't want it to, be this cultish book or have this sort of time travel situation, which it was not. The ending I did not expect at all what happened, and some of the other things as well that came up were also unexpected. I did not see it coming, and I was really trying to figure out where this was going, what would be the end of it. Overall, I would say I can see what the hype is about, because the main character is made to be extremely difficult to understand, to sympathize with, and she has a lot of issues. And since this book is written in first point of view, you have no option other than being in her head and hearing all her thoughts and what she's thinking about each and every person around her. So overall, a fun read. I would recommend reading this. Very different sort of book that I've read, and I enjoyed it. So that was it for this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. If you've read this book, I would love to know what you thought. I would also love to know if you had any theories, because I theorized the hell out of it and I was not at all close. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video, comment, subscribe, all of that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.